Hello Stampers! I've got a pretty little winter scene for you today, and this is using the snowflake out of the Joyful Flurry stamp set. This is from Stampin' Up, and this is in the July-December mini catalog. So you can pick that up, and I teamed it up with, I needed a branch for my scene here. So I just got a branch from the Garden Birdhouse stamp set and used it. And if you have a stamp set that you have a branch in it already, you can use that. So I just used that, and I thought it'd be cute to hang a little snowflake from the tree and some snow on the ground. So we're going to get going on this card, and I'm going to start with the main image panel. The main image panel is 3 3/4 square, and it's basic white cardstock. All the dimensions for this card you can find down below this video. Just click show more and you'll see them there, along with all the product links that'll take you to my online store. So we're going to start with our snowflake first, and we're just going to emboss this using clear embossing powder. And that will resist the ink then, and it will protect the white of the paper, so our snowflake will be nice and white. So I've got some Versamark here, and I'm just going to ink my little snowflake up. So I'm going to come down here about 1.5 inches, and I'm going to stamp this snowflake. And I have a little off center. And I have a little off center to the right. And you will see it more once I get it embossed and get some color on the paper here. So I'm going to bring in some clear embossing powder. I keep mine in a tub for easy use. And I put my powder on. I'm just checking around just to make sure I don't have any large clumps of embossing powder where I don't want it. So now I'm just going to heat it up using a heat tool. And I'm only going to heat it until it turns shiny. There we go. Now it's all heated up. Now I just need a post-it note, and I'm taking a 3x5 post-it note. And this is the sticky edge up here, and I'm just going to rip a hill up towards the top, and then come down and then up again. So I didn't take all the sticky off. There's still sticky on the top of the hill and the edge here. And I'm going to place this on our panel here, and I want it so there is a bit of a valley going on here on the side with the snowflake. So there is that, and just make sure you don't cover up your snowflake. Now your snowflake is above this post-it note. So I'm going to start with my background here. And this is Pacific Point ink, and I'm going to use a blending brush here. And I'm going to blend this all over the sky area. Now you want some good color here so that star really, not star, but that snowflake pops out. No wimpy colors on these cards. I like those bold backgrounds. So there is our sky with the Pacific Point. Now we're going to get a little darker in our sky yet. And I'm going to bring in one of my favorite colors, Starry Sky. It's a beautiful blue. And I'm going to bring in another blending brush here. And I'm going to blend this Starry Sky to where I'm leaving like a streak from the top left corner down and around this snowflake. Just like there's a light shining on it. I'm making sure I go over the top, like the very top of this post-it note too, to define that edge. So we have some light shining on our star there. Okay, now that we have those colors on, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to lightly just wipe off my snowflake to bring it back to white. Any excess ink is now wiped off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my Post-it note off and I'm going to move this. So I have a different pattern in my snow. I'm going to move this over a bit and down. There we go. And I'm going to take my Pacific Point brush and I'm going to lightly add some of that color along the Post-it note edge there. And that will create our top snowbank. And then we have this bottom one here, and I'm just going to add a little color down here on the bottom, leaving plenty of white on the top of the snowbank. All right, so we have that done. Now for a tree branch. Like I said, I borrowed the tree branch out of the Garden Birdhouse's stamp set. And I wanted a tree branch with a little bit of leaves on it. So like it's like the first snowfall here in our little scene. And I'm using Early Espresso to stamp this with. And I'm going to put this branch on so that part that comes up is off of the paper. I want it to look like it's like the bottom branch of a tree. If you leave too much space there, it just looks like a branch that's sticking out for no reason. So make sure you have it up at the top of the paper. Again, that was Early Espresso. All right. So now I'm just going to take my heat tool here. I just want to warm up this sky area just a bit. I want to dry that ink as much as possible. That way when I'm using my white gel pen in the next step, that my ink is dry and it won't pick up that blue tinge as much. Okay, so I'm going to use a white gel pen here. And I'm going to color in all of these leaves. And I'm just kind of scribbling it over the leaves. I'm not taking my time doing this. We got things to do. So the tree branch is going to just look sketchy, which is fine. And you're just going to color in all these little leaves. I love a white gel pen. You can't, especially the Signo ones, you just can't beat that opaque white that it has. Okay, once you've scribbled in all of your leaves, we're going to just add some of this white on the branch. And I'm going to concentrate it more or less on the top of the branch, like there's snow on it. This is like a nice frosty branch here, and you can add a little white lightly on the little stems that come out. And there is our branch. Okay, next thing, you need a very fine tipped marker. You can use a basic black. And I'm just using one of our old journaling markers. This has a fine tip on it also. And when you stamp your snowflake, I forgot to tell you this, when you stamp that snowflake, you want it so that one of the points is sticking straight up. because that is where you're going to come off of to put your little string that holds your snowflake on. So there is our little scene. I just think it comes out so cute and it's so simple. Okay, so we're going to get rid of our inky paper here. Just gonna flip it over. And I'm going to adhere the main panel to a basic white panel that's 3 7/8. So it's 1/8 larger than our main panel. Okay, I've got my panel on here. And that just makes your scene pop, having that white edge to it. And now I'm going to stamp the inside of my card. I want to do the stamping on that before I adhere it to the inside. That way if I make a mistake, I can just flip it over and don't have to worry about it. I got a second chance of stamping that sentiment correctly if I get it a little not straight. So the sentiment I'm using is Joyful Wishes. And then I'm going to add the large snowflake from the stamp set. And I'm stamping the inside of this card, and I'm using the Starry Sky ink. That way it coordinates well. And I'm just going to put some snowflakes around there. I have a Starry Sky card base here. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded it in half to create a quarter card. Now I'm just going to adhere this panel to the inside. There we go. And now I'm going to take a strip of basic white cardstock. This is 1/2 inch by 5.5, and it fits the front of the cardstock. I just want to do a quick check here. It's always good to do that, just to make sure it'll fit correctly. Looks like I have it right. And I just wanted to put some of this Starry Sky ribbon on it. This is just glammed out little fine ribbon. I just love it. Doesn't bulk your card up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the front of my strip here. And I'm leaving it loose on the front. And I'm just going to flip it over, and I'm going to adhere it to the back using mini glue dots. You just fold that over and stick that into the dot. You're going to do the same for this other end. It's sometimes good to pick it up and then flatten it out, get it straight where you want it, and then put it into that glue dot. Now we're ready to go. And to adhere it to the card, I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. I know you don't never see me use this. I love my multi-purpose glue, but for little strips like this that I want tacked down real well, it's great to use Stampin' Seal for this. I'll just show you how inept I am at using this probably. If your ribbon frays at the end, just take it to the back where it's sticky. I'm going to adhere this to the card front, and I'm going to come in a little over 1 inch and adhere it on there. Before I press down really well though, I want to just give it a look and make sure it's straight. That looks good. Okay, and now I'm ready to put my scene panel on here. Let's give it some love. And then I'm going to put it over that ribbon and everything. Here we go. And that ribbon just gives a little shine. I know the camera probably is not picking it up, but it's a metallic. All right, so I'm going to add a bow. So I'm going to slide it under our ribbon here at the bottom. And I'm going to turn my card around. It's easier for me to tie with the card upside down. I get the bow go in the right direction. You can make a bigger bow, and then when you can fiddle around with it and make it as small as you'd like. I wanted a little bow on there. I don't want it to take over the card. I want the scene to be the star of the show. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim these little ends here. And there's my bow. So there's my card with my bow on it. The inside's all stamped. It is ready to go. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a try. It's a nice, simple, fairly flat Christmas card that you can send. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye.